Hey guys, I thought I'd test your musical knowledge with my flashcards. So here we go. The first one is, what is that? Oh, don't see the answer. If you said a time signature, then you are absolutely correct. So here's the next question. Ready? Pretend you have a buzzer in your hand and you're ready to buzz in if you know the answer, but you're the only one with a buzzer, so you're always going to be able to be first. What does the top number mean? That there are... I pick you. 4 beats in every measure. Yes! So, 4 beats in every measure. As long as you see this, 4 beats for the top. Ready? How many beats would be in every measure if you saw this? Do you know the answer? Did you get the answer? I pick you. Okay. If you said 3, then you are absolutely correct. And this one? 2. See, you're catching on. Well, I mean, hopefully you already knew this from music class, but maybe this is a refresher. I don't know. But yes, it's always the top number tells you how many beats you're going to count in every measure, or how many beats in every measure. Let's see what's the next thing. So the next thing is not dealing with time signatures. You ready? This is what? Not a mustache, not a lightning bolt. It's a... If you said quarter rest, then you're absolutely correct. Quarter rest. Now the next question. How many beats is a quarter rest? 1. Exactly. If you said 1, you're correct. And so, even though it's a silence in the music, you still have to count it, correct? Okay, so what about this kind of rest? Do you know? Do ya? Do ya? Do ya? Well, if you said 8th rest, then you were absolutely correct. It's an 8th rest, and it's worth half a beat. It's really annoying that it's called an 8th rest, and it's worth half a beat. It's like, come on! Whatever. But it has to do with fitting in the measure, especially a measure of 4/4 time signature, but we're not going to worry about that right now. What is this? If you said whole rest versus, what is that? Half rest. Remember, whole rest looks like not the hat. So sometimes I say it looks like a hole. Little person going and they go fall in the hole. So it's a whole rest, spelled with a W, so it's actually for the whole measure, the entire measure. And it's worth usually how much? It could be most often worth 4. So if you said 4 beats, you are correct. All right, what about this half rest? Usually worth 2 beats of silence. So now we get to our sound, our rhythms that are equal to sound. So we had silence, now we have sound. Ready? What is this? If you said an 8th note, you are correct. It's tricky because a lot of you know this right away. 8th notes, there's 2 of them, correct? And I always sometimes say that they are best friend 8th notes because they're holding hands. But yeah, there are 2 of them versus one lonely 8th note with its flag or hand, if you want to think of that's its hand, being able to connect to another 8th note, and now you have 2. But anyway, and an 8th note is going to be the same as our 8th rest, but with sound. So this is half a beat. Remember, this is half a beat. Yes! We're smart in music, man! Okay, so anyway, moving on. What's this? Ooh, I went with the hard one. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. That's a really hard one. Moving on. What's this? Yeah, if you said quarter note, then you are correct. Quarter note. They named them so strange, but it's all, like I said, it has to do with being within a measure of 4/4, And, you know, if you have 4 of these, then each one is worth a quarter of the whole measure, and so blah, 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 blah. That, you don't need to worry about that right now, but what you do need to know is each one of these is usually worth how many beats? 1. So if you told me 1, then you are absolutely correct. Good job. Okay, 1 beat for the quarter note. It's still going to be sound. Oh, there's that thing again. Stop. This really, really hard one. Ugh. Anyway, let's move on. What is this? Oh, yeah. Whole note. A whole note starting with a WH, not an H by itself. Whole note is worth how many counts? Tell me. Tell me now. Tell me now. You're right. It's 4. So if you said 4 beats of sound, then you are absolutely correct. If you just said 4 beats, then you're still correct. Although it's, you know, nice to say 4 beats of sound, because this and the whole rest are equal to the same amount. But your whole rest is going to be silence. Your whole note is going to be sound. Stop that! Come on! It's that hard, really hard one again. I mean, like, come on. Anyway, what is this? It's a half note. Yes. And a half note is worth how many counts? Bzz. Did you buzz in? Okay, I pick you. It's worth 2 beats. So we think to ourselves that a whole note, well, hey, half note is worth half of what the whole note is. So 4, and then half of 4 would be 2. Kind of makes sense. We're almost there. Stop that. Anyway, we've got our good friends, the 2/8 notes, right? I didn't ask you what they were called because we already talked about it. But how many beats would it be if you saw 2/8 notes? If you said 1 beat, you are correct. Technically, you could say half a beat each. Half plus half equals 1 beat of sound. There you go. And we often would do the lovely sound of do day. Yes. Oh, no, not that one yet. This one. What is this called? Don't see the answer. Ugh. Behind, like, the light is shining through. Anyway, this is called a dotted half note. Now, dotted notes are, to me, a little bit on the strange side, because what they're trying to do is get those in-between numbers, like 3 and 1.5. And even you could think of 6 beats on if you have a dotted whole note. Well, what exactly, how many beats is a dotted half note? It's worth 3 beats. So if you got 3 beats of sound, it's usually because you have a dotted half note. And a dotted half note, the dot adds more beats or more sound. How much sound? Well, I could explain it to you in very annoying terms that are kind of difficult, but I won't. There's not really a super easy way to discover this. It is half of what it normally is added on. So 2 is what it normally is. Then you need half of 2. 1. So you're going to add 2 plus 1 equals 3. Go figure. So in other words, this really annoying dotted quarter note is worth 1.5. If you said 1.5 before me, you're amazing. Just brownie points all over. $1 million. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh to you. And it's a dotted quarter note worth 1.5 beats because half of 1 is half. So 1 plus half is 1.5. That's how it works. Anyway, maybe I was supposed to do it this way. 1 plus a half is 1.5. Alrighty. So hopefully that was helpful. And if you didn't know all of those, then you learned something new. All right.